The interesting thing in talking to Coach Charlie Toomey of Loyola is saying, hey, we want to make Woodall win it backward, because when he wins it forward and is moving on offense, he is a very, very difficult guy to defend against, and it becomes a really difficult thing to defend this Towson offense. We've got a violation at the face-off X on Woodall, though, so it's Loyola with the first possession, and we get our first look at Pat Spencer and company on offense.
Right, that's something that Coach Nadalon spoke about yesterday, was not giving Loyola anything easy, right? We don't want to make any mistakes and give Pat Spencer more opportunities than he already is going to garner in this game.
One change on the Loyola starting midfield for today. It's Alex McGovern, number 16 in green, getting the start instead of P.J. Brown. So it's John Duffy, McGovern, and Chase Scanlon, the fantastic freshman, in the starting midfield unit. They're joined by Pat Spencer, Aiden Olmstead, and Kevin Lindley at attack. And here is Spencer working against Kobe Smith. That's the one-on-one matchup Towson starts with. Spencer, so physical, able to back down his defender. Gets a shot off, an early save by Tyler Canto, and Towson gets an early stop.
Absolutely huge there for Towson, also for Canto and his confidence, right? Nothing better for a goalie than to see that first shot and be able to stop that one. Huge for your momentum going forward.
When you think of this Towson team as they look to get it over, just 5 seconds left to get it over, and they do. You look at this Towson team, it's a team that has found some good opportunities in transition, something you don't think of when you traditionally think of the Tigers, but they're not afraid to go this year.
Absolutely. You know, you traditionally think about playing fundamental defense and taking your time on offense, but, you know, this is a group that is mature, that is able to pick and choose their moments when they really want to run, and they have the athletes and ability to do it.
Here's a look at Brendan Sunday. He's been terrific this year. He finds the post. A tough break for Brendan Sunday, who we talked about in the open. He's already got 11 goals in 3 games. Another look.
Sort of gives you a little microcosm of what we're expecting today, right? Pat Spencer first shot, and then we have Sunday answering on the other end, just nicking the pipe there.
Sunday once again joined in the starting attack unit by Brody McLean and Luke Frommert. At the starting midfield, Jake McLean, Grant Maloof, and Timmy Monahan. This is Maloof, well high, but that shot by Sunday reset the shot clock, so still 60 seconds to work for the Tigers. Their first offensive set here today.
It's interesting looking so far at these sets and seeing both Sunday and Pat Spencer above GLE, playing a lot in front of the goal, right? Listed as attackmen. So it'll be interesting to see if both teams, both units want to put them at different locations throughout this game.
Sunday to Maloof from downtown, shot wide.
Towson here generating a couple good opportunities, right? I think it's key for them to get everyone involved here, maybe circle the ball a couple times, make that Loyola defense turn their heads and move their feet, try to lose track of guys here.
Now the shot clock reset, I don't believe it should have. The refs didn't check it, so it's another fresh 80 for Towson. It's something we've watched with the shot clock being implemented this year. Some different things going on with operators as Maloof strikes first. The Tigers take a 1-0 lead.
Grant Maloof, really strong move from him right there, getting the party started here for the Towson Tigers. Again, really key for them to strike first there. Nice offensive possessions that we just talked about, generating a lot of scoring opportunities. And this is just getting to a high percentage shot, right? Getting to the middle of the field, giving up a good shot for a great shot, and just burying that one to give the Tigers an early lead here.
Something that made this Towson team so difficult to guard back in 2017 when they made that run to championship weekend was the shooting ability of the guys like Ryan Drenner, Joe Sider. We've seen a little bit of that type of ability from certain players on this Towson team early on here in 2019.
Absolutely. You know, Coach Nadalon's got to be excited about that, just getting yourself into a good position to really start this game off right. Just gives your whole offense and your team a lot of confidence.
And early on, 2 face-off wins for Loyola as that ball goes out of bounds off of Towson. Something to keep in mind as we move on. 2-0 start for the Greyhounds at the X. Remember, last year, just 3 for 7 Alex Woodall was against this Loyola team. Actually got pulled, and Towson went to some other options throughout that game. It's Riley Cox running out of the second midfield unit for the Greyhounds. Now Logan Devereaux, who's bodied up, physical play. It's Andrew O'Dare, the short stick midi, but we get a whistle and it'll stay with the Greyhounds.
Towson sort of got bailed out there. Pat Spencer, he picked up that ball early. He was trying to win the whistle there, get a quick little restart.
Spencer draws the slide, but the pass a little off. Big loose ball, as you see Zach Goodrich, the All-American, in there for Towson, and a quick turnover, and here comes Kobe Smith. He's shown the ability to score this year. Instead, takes things back out, and the Tigers will set things up. Kobe Smith, don't let the long pole fool you. He's got 5 points on the year and 2 goals and 3 assists.
Kobe's, he spent some time as a long pole, long stick midi here last year, but now he's drawing the task of guarding Pat Spencer, following him wherever he's going, doing a good job of just staying on him, keeping his hands involved. He's got to be careful not to help off too far off of Pat there and really make sure that his presence is felt this entire game.
Second midfield unit in there for the Tigers as well. Shot sails high from Beecham, sophomore from Carlsbad, California.
Getting used to some nice February lacrosse. A little bit colder on the East Coast here for him.
When you're in Baltimore. This is Frommer working from X, gets it back out top to Sunday. Sunday bodies down the alley, dives across. Wow. Brendan Sunday with a highlight reel finish. Does it count? And it does. Brendan Sunday's 12th goal of the year, one of his finest.
Well, right on cue, right? He's absolutely who we spoke about before this game, understanding that he's a bit of a quieter kid and really, looking to break out. Outstanding, just tough dodge here. Again, just getting to the middle of the field, and then something extra special here on the finish. To have that sort of size and body control is really special. You see Sunday able to flip that ball back across his shoulder. Again, the dive rule being able to come back into play here.
And we've seen some different thoughts on the dive there. They rule that he was diving away from the goal mouth. The goal counts. Alex Woodall now wins his first faceoff, and this is where Towson was able to take advantage of things against Hopkins early on in the season, because they scored and they would play make it, take it throughout that big run they went on in the second and third quarters.
You are right. I'm sure that's something that Towson addressed immediately after they had those 2 face-off misfunctions there, and want to make sure that they can gain some momentum. If they're going to score back-to-back goals, it's essential that you can at least play make it, take it 1 or 2 times and try to gain some momentum here in the first quarter.
This is Jake McLean. Got the short stick matchup, gets him to fall down. Shot from way downtown. It's Monahan who rings the crossbar. The second post already for the Tigers, but they get the loose ball.
Heads up play there.
And Towson keeps possession, and they get a fresh 80. Think about if those 2 went in. Right. Towson looking at a 4-0 lead.
It's still very productive for them, though, offensively, to now get a repossession and take a whole shot clock here and make Loyola play more defense, right? Their heads have been on a swivel here. They've had to slide already more so than they're used to, right? Coach Toomey always told us it's a young defense, sort of looking to feel comfortable. Towson's done a good job of keeping them on their toes so far.
In talking to Coach Toomey earlier this week, he said, look, we don't feel like our defense is playing like a #1 team yet. As another crossbar for Towson. And Loyola gets bailed out.
Midfield. Close sideline.
Jacob Stover is thanking his pipes right now from his cage. That is for sure. Pipes are a goalie's best friend.
But with the Greyhounds, they haven't felt great about the defense, and they're without their top cover man who they expected to be here in the season, Matt Hughes, the sophomore. He got hurt in the preseason with an ACL, so he's not playing this year. As Olmstead goes to work from X. Big physical hit by Spencer. And Loyola keeps possession. They'll settle things down with another fresh 80-second shot clock. This is the freshman Chase Scanlon. Coming out of IMG Academy, already 9 goals in his first year on campus. Got a couple of flags down as well, so a penalty coming for Loyola. Govern now back to Spencer. Spencer from the top of the box feeds down low. And the flag, this will trigger the flag. It'll be interesting to see what it was. It was thrown on the far side up by the sideline, not in the offensive end here where the Tigers and Greyhounds were battling. And we have a penalty on Grant Maloof. It's too many men on the offensive end, so it was offsides for Towson. And an extra man opportunity for the first time today for Loyola. 4 for 12 on the year, just 33% so far. Maybe surprising considering how sharp this 6-on-6 set has been for the Greyhounds. And not a sharp pass there as Kobe Smith scoops up the loose ball. Smith showing off the speed.
Got an offsides here.
Another offsides, gives it right back to the Greyhounds.
Right, this is what we're talking about. This is what Towson cannot do. They can't be hurting themselves. They're getting stops here on offense, on the power play, right? They need to take advantage of that and kill off these penalties as they come.
Spencer in front to Lindley.
And that's exactly why.
The Hounds are on the board.
You know, too, even more so than that, I thought this entire first quarter so far, Towson looked way more comfortable. They looked like they were playing a half step faster, right? Loyola looked like they were still a little bit cold, right? Hadn't quite gotten off the bus yet, and were dropping a couple of uncharacteristic passes. And it's something like an extra man opportunity that really gets your team back and flowing again, you know, into the game. So, you know, for Loyola and Pat Spencer, they're hoping that that's their spark there that gets this train going.
Evan Lindley coming off a big game, 4 goals against Rutgers on Saturday. That's his 14th goal already this season. That's now first on the team, and the sophomore from Darien, Connecticut has just been an absolute sharpshooter. Coming into this game, 52%.
You got to love that. He's becoming a perfect complement for Pat Spencer. And, you know, Coach Toomey, again, talking about that chemistry at attack is something that he's really liked, continuing to grow each and every week as he has his 2 sophomores there complimenting Pat Spencer.
Woodall wins another faceoff, so another offensive set for Towson. If not for 3 different pipes that they've hit, these Tigers team has been really getting the shots that they want on offense so far.
They have been, and that continues to emphasize that face-off battle, right? When they have not had any violations, Woodall's been winning them pretty clean and giving his team a chance to have these long offensive possessions, taking multiple shots, spinning the ball around, getting a lot of guys touches. These are all very good things here for Towson.
This is Maloof, splits the 2 short sticks. Now he draws Cam Wires. And Towson sends it behind. There. 30 seconds left of the shot clock. Stover gets a little help from the side of the net this time.
I think, as they say, one more step to greatness there for Brody Lecraine. Give yourself a little bit more of an angle to wrap that ball around Stover's legs.
So Cole Bolin, the short stick defensive midfielder, brings it over and gets the ball to John Duffy in this first midfield unit for the Hounds.
I think this is an important offensive possession here for Loyola. I don't think the midfielders have been really able to get in the flow of this game. Guys like Scanlon and Duffy are going to be super important to their success here. I really like Scanlon's game. I think he's got a lot of different tools that he can come. Nice hard stutter step there with his left.
But he's got a difficult matchup against the All-American and Zach Goodrich, and Goodrich won it that time.
Absolutely. Goodrich has been an outstanding D-nitty here for Towson for a number of years, and that's when you think about Towson, really, when you think about their strong defensive presence, is those short stick D-middies.
Brommer quickly, instead, he backs things out for the Tigers. And when you talk to Coach Sean Nadelin about Zach Goodrich, it's such a luxury to have because he knows it's like an extra long pole on the field for him, his ability to shut guys down in the midfield.
Absolutely, and, you know, sort of almost being a defensive coordinator out there, right, on defense, when you have a guy that's always communicating, always talking, trying to get guys in their right spots, that's always going to make it more difficult for the offensive players.
This is Beecher with that second midfield unit along with Greg I, number 15, Penn State transfer. I gets a look, sends it well wide of Savio.
Now, if you're Towson here, you have Chase Scanlon.
Stover.
Chase Scanlon caught on defense here. He might look to exploit that matchup, possibly put him in a 2-man game, make him play some picks. Could be a good chance to go at him right now.
I draws the slide. Under 20 seconds on the shot clock with Brendan Sunday working from behind. Sunday again! Brendan Sunday just enough to get it by Jacob Stover.
Really nice take by Sunday again, but again, these Towson Tigers, they're playing offense the way that they want to. They're working the ball around, they're getting everybody involved, and they're giving it to their 6'5" stud here, who's able to turn the corner with his left hand. That's just, being stronger than the other player there, getting upfield. Great start to the game here by Sunday.
And when you look at that matchup, the crazy thing is Cam Wires is 6'4",
yeah.
So only an inch advantage for Brendan Sunday, but that inch enough to get his hands free and get a shot off there around the crease.
And it's interesting, too, as I mentioned before, Brendan looked like he was playing a lot in front of GLE, in front of the cage, and I think he's so good at turning the corner from X and getting to the island. We'll see if they try to get him there a little bit more here as this quarter continues.
After the early edge for Loyola winning the first two faceoffs, things have evened back out, and Woodall able to win it forward to himself. And another faceoff win, now 3 in a row for Alex Woodall. That's exactly what Coach Toomey spoke about. He doesn't want to happen with Woodall, because when he wins it offensively, they have a chance to go in transition. They don't hear, but it opens up a lot of doors. And with Alex Woodall, he spoke about being 25 pounds lighter. Maybe that's a ground ball he doesn't get last year, but because he feels a little bit more in fit shape,
yeah.
he feels like this is a good spot for him.
I agree with you. And sometimes it's just the mindset of your teammates, right? When they see him winning that ball forward, they're looking to make a play as well, right? Their sticks are up, everything's eyes looking.
McLean to Monahan for another. Tigers have it all clicking in the first.
I think Coach Nadalin, if he was asked about this start to the game yesterday, he would take it 100% of the time. Continuing to be disciplined and find really high percentage looks on offense. Really fundamental shot there to get by Stover. And that what happens when you're working the ball and moving it like Towson, right? The defenders have to turn their eyes. They're all getting condensed into the box, and that opens up those outside shots.
This is also a tough start for Jacob Stover, who has been so good in cage for Loyola, a guy who's giving up less than 10 goals per game, saving 16 per contest. But it's been a tough start for the senior goalie from Hunt Valley, Maryland. We look at the national landscape. This is one of the reasons this game is so important. I know it's early, but with both of these teams, as they get ready for conference play, for Towson, it's going to be a little bit longer. For Loyola, they get to conference play here on Saturday against Holy Cross. But this is another big game you can put on the resume, check off another big win.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. They're talking to both coaches this week. They're saying, hey, this is Towson week or this is Loyola week, and that's the way these guys were treating it. It was shorter, obviously, playing on a Wednesday night, so a few things have to happen differently. But these guys have had this game circled on this schedule since the schedule came up, and both coaches have been really working to get their squads ready to give their best effort here tonight.
You're just joining us here early on in the first quarter. Towson has been on fire. They actually have hit 3 pipes on top of these 4 goals. It started with Grant Maloof going to work. He got Brendan Sunday with a pair. Timmy Monahan putting one home. Towson offensively taking advantage of maybe the weakest part of this #1 overall team in the defense for Loyola.
No, I think you're right, and I think a key here to Towson's first 3 goals were they were all on the doorstep. Each one of those players, they fought to get to the middle of the field, or they fought to turn their corner. And what that does is really condenses the defense, as we just mentioned, and they have to worry about playing inside out first. When that's happening, that opens up the skip passes from those feeds over top. So right now, Towson is really earning and getting whatever shot that they want. They're going to look to keep putting pressure on Stover.
So coming out of the Loyola timeout, we go back to the face-off X. Woodall's won 3 straight there. And you can make it 4, but he loses it. Big physical hit, the 225-pound face-off man lowering the shoulder. Goodrich had a beat on it. We've got a whistle. Violation on Loyola, procedure call. We'll give it to Towson. And you got Alex Woodall battling for it, along with the All-American short stick and Zach Goodrich, You also throw in Jimmy Wilkerson, the LSM. You've got a good
That's a
rope
tough battle
unit there
right
for
there,
the Tigers.
for sure. And you know, that's something we talked about being so important. Those 50-50 ground balls, right, usually end up making such an impact on this game, especially for Loyola, who's having trouble winning these faceoffs clean.
Back to work on offense go the Tigers. McLean gets the hands free. Stover finally with a stop, but not able to keep it in his cross. So another offensive set for Grant Maloof, who rings another post.
They really are keeping this pressure on Loyola and Stover. As we see a little transition going the other way, I think it's important here for Loyola. If they don't have anything, they have to bring that ball out and really get in a good offensive possession here, get their guys on, get everyone a touch, and run it set here.
This is a Greyhounds offense ranking 6th in the country, 16 goals per game so far in the 3-0 start. Started with that 17-goal output against Virginia.
Making it really tough here for Pat Spencer to get this ball so far, right? Kobe Smith just not going anywhere else but staying in his hands.
Number 26 will go everywhere with number 7 in green. Hands free, shot sails wide.
Really
the
nice.
backup by Kobe Smith.
Again, that's a great lesson there for young defenders, right? When they're being asked to shut someone off, where you can still have your head on the swivel, seeing what else is going on in the game. Just a really nice heads-up play to beat Spencer to the end line there and get his team possession. Important here for a nice clean clear to try to get another nice offensive possession.
And really overall, just not a lot of pressure on Tyler Canto as Goodrich goes, and Stover able to stop that one and hold on to it.
Stover bailed out those guys, the Loyola there, as they left Goodrich wide open here. A little riding breakdown.
In talking with Coach Toomey for Loyola, he said one of the things Jacob Stover's done so well so far this year is not only making the stops, but making the clean save to be able to outlet the ball and not allow for the rebound.
Absolutely, that was a big thing that Coach Toomey was focusing on, is those rebounds, which ultimately lead to those extra possessions, which is a big thing they're trying to eliminate here.
Here's Spencer backing down Smith. Trying to use the body, draws the slide, nowhere to go with it, and he holds on to it. Back out top, and it's Lindley again. Kevin Lindley, the sharpshooter, cuts it back to a 2-goal game.
Nice little cut there by Lindley, and you know, I'm just getting ready to say how it sort of seems like Pat Spencer is with the ball and everyone else is a little bit stagnant, not really moving and getting open, but I guess that's what they're used to, and you know, they're the ones that are playing with number 7 in practice every day, and they know that they just have to give it a matter of time, and he will find them. You know, for a nice wide open shot there. I do, however, think it's important for Loyola to continue to keep that movement going and make this Towson defense work, slide, switch, just to get them out of their game plan a little bit.
I think the interesting thing in talking about these offensive guys, and Aiden Olmstead and Kevin Lindley, the 2 sophomores playing with Spencer, Coach Toomey said they came back this year and they were just dialed in, and they realized they had one more year with this special guy in Pat Spencer. As Savio one-handed after the face-off win, saved by Canto, big loose ball in the corner. We get near 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Zungalia's got a beat. Spencer's in the mix. Ball goes sky high, and Spencer ends up with it. Close to 20 seconds left. Plenty of time for Pat Spencer.
As we see right now, has Goodrich on him.
Couple
Traditionally,
of
you're going to be
All-Americans.
yelling red for a quick slide.
Spencer behind the back, saved by Canto. And he's going to try to get rid of it, and Loyola will be denied one more shot from Towson. Tigers will be very happy with a 2-goal lead after the first quarter. Spencer has been full of highlights here in the early season as well. As we go back to the faceoff X, Woodall wins that one cleanly and gets the offensive set for the Tigers. McLean, now to Kobe Smith. Stover saw it the whole way.
You know, coming out of this second quarter, I love that though, right? Towson's, they're not backing off the gas, they're playing fast, trying to get some goals here in transition.
Peter Swindell knocked over by McLean. A whistle, and Loyola takes an early timeout in the second quarter. Are you in? questioning that at all? I mean, possession's important, but at the beginning of the second quarter, that's
It's early, but at the same time, I think Coach Toomey is trying to get his guys in rhythm here and get on a groove. I think he understands the value of having a really solid offensive possession right now. Like we've been saying, getting a lot of people involved, getting everybody touches. Obviously, this ball is going to go through Pat Spencer, but how you want that to happen is sort of, up to you right now. So, huge possession here, I think, for Loyola to get back on track offensively. As we mentioned, a little bit cold, midweek game, right? It can be rivalry game. A lot of different factors can factor in, but it's a second quarter here, ready to zero in and get back to playing the way they do.
Loyola able to bounce back. They went down 4-1. Spencer then able to find Lindley in front, and I think it's just so interesting with these two sophomore attackmen who got a chance to play with Pat Spencer all year last year in Olmsted and Lindley, and they just realized, hey, we may not have another opportunity like this again. I know we're only sophomores,
right,
but we're playing with maybe one of the most dynamic, impressive players of our generation.
There's no doubt about it, and it's important for them to realize that. And it's so cool to have a guy like Pat Spencer in your program because it just has such an effect on all the players around him, whether it be a young offensive player like we're talking about that are trying to emulate his skills, or a defensive player, right, who in practice every day you're going up against this number 7 guy who can really, really make you pay in a lot of different ways. So that's going to open up your game. So I think everybody it benefits from having him around.
When you look at the accolades, it's like, what hasn't Pat Spencer done throughout his career? Of course, looking to be a 3-time Tewaaraton finalist this year, maybe also bring home the award. Off to a good start so far in this 3-0 start for the Hounds.
He's setting new trends with his elbow pad swagger as well. Each and every game is different. I like it.
He looks like he's out there for practice with the hoodie.
That's right. He wants to be ready to play over style. I respect that.
And that one, McGovern just took his eye off of it. Scanlon tries to save it.
And that's the opposite of what you want to see, right? We just talk about the importance of that possession, zeroing in here and really executing, right? So to have, a stick work mistake is not the way you want to get back into your game here.
Easy clear here as Chad Patterson gets it to Luke Frommert. Towson look for their first 6-on-6 set of the second quarter. CAA Game of the Week here on Lax Sports Network. Travis Eldridge and Davey Emla alongside with you. Number 7 Towson versus number 1 Loyola. Tigers looking to get another big marquee win, and Brendan Sunday's already got a hat trick.
Brendan Sunday, he is really impressive so far tonight and this season. He has been doing this, and what I think is really playing into his game is that he's played a lot of midfield in his career. So he feels very comfortable going from X or dodging from up top, as we've seen lately. That's just a hard, strong move with his left coming downhill. It's been interesting to me, too, to see Loyola's defense. They're not eager to slide right now. They're not going too fast at all, and they're making Towson win these one-on-one matchups, which they're doing a good job of.
And great positioning there on the shot as well to beat Stover. Brendan Sunday, all of last season, 23 points. With the 3 goals so far tonight, he's up to 22 in 4 games. Oh, sorry, 3.5 games.
There you go, right. No, that's a step that these guys can take year to year. We just talk about these Loyola freshmen and the step they wanted to take as they get into their sophomore season. Sunday wanted to do that as a senior, right? You see him wearing that C on his chest, and that's certainly for a reason.
Face-off win back to Goodrich, and another face-off for the Tigers. At the face-off X, Charlie Toomey told us this week that he would have been happy with 40%. That's how good he believes Alex Woodall is.
Yeah.
Loyola right there right now, so on par with what they expected.
Certainly, and I'm not sure they expected them to execute on offense this well, which is making the face-offs look a little bit worse than it actually is. Towson is doing just a great job of being efficient on offense and really making Loyola pay every time the ball's on this end of the field.
Hey, don't forget about this Tigers offense. Don't let your thoughts on Towson as a program fool you. They're top 10 in the country in offensive production so far, as Maloof sails one a little wide. Team averaging more than 14 goals per game in the early part of this season.
Absolutely, and it's not, we talk a lot about Brendan Sunday, but it's a lot of guys contributing to that. And, if you're going to have a group.
Maloof saved by Stover. McLean just tried to bat that thing in, and Stover able to collect the rebound. And Stover has settled in a little bit better here in the second quarter than we saw early on.
No, you're right, and that can, especially we talk about for a team as a whole, how it can be difficult these midweek games. Goalie, you're really changing up your routine and sort of going into a different scenario. So, the one benefit of seeing all those shots in the first corner is that he will be settled in and he's used to seeing the shots he's going to see here for the remainder of this game.
This is Lindley from the top, sails that one wide. Aiden Olmstead. Remember, Aiden Olmstead didn't really play much in the last 2 games, was out with an injury, was expected to play more against Rutgers over the weekend, wasn't quite ready, but got the start here tonight. Sophomore from Corning, New York. He rolls, feeds Spencer, but Spencer couldn't catch it. Kobe Smith, though, loses it, and everybody a little jittery here to start the second quarter. This is John Duffy. He's got some range. Maybe not from there, but does have that 2-ball type range if you were thinking of the pro game.
He does, and that's certainly important, especially if they can get some goals in tight here to try to open up those skip passes.
Feed in front. Pretty finish from Lindley. The sophomore's connecting for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Lindley's shown that he did not need any warming up period. He came to play here from the beginning, and really impressed with his game. I like his game. Little lefty, quick, can score in a lot of different ways. Has a nice hard flash across that top from a low-to-low shot. Really impressive so far.
Gets the feed from Aiden Olmstead, his first point here tonight. And that's something that when you talk about this Loyola offense, so much attention has to go to Pat Spencer, but Aiden Olmstead is a very, very capable ball handler and feeder.
Right, and you just see it right there. There was not a lot of room to make a play there, and that was a nice pass and nice handle there for a twister finish by Lindley.
Face-off win by Woodall. So back to work, go the Tigers offense. Towson entering this game having scored double digits now in 3 straight to start the year. They haven't done that since 2002. If they score double digits here today, which they're off to a good start with 5 goals in the first quarter plus, they would do it for the first time since since the 1990s. This Towson team is on record pace to start the year offensively. That shot got deflected and sent well wide.
I think you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Nadalin for that, and we have already hit on it a lot about how Towson's usual reputation is this strong defensive program, but he goes with the guys that are on his team and the feel from his guys, and really puts a lot on the players to sort of form the identity that they're looking to have, and they've really embraced this team offensive concept, and it's been shown in all their production through each game.
Another save there by Stover, but a good ride by Towson. So we've got a player in the crease. And that's what the call will be. There might have been a little shove there to get Brendan Sunday into the crease, but either way, it's a Loyola ball. Sent back to Olmstead, and with offense struggling a little bit as they've tried to figure out ways to get Spencer involved, as you see him get shut off there by Kobe Smith. Be interesting to see if Olmstead takes a bigger role behind the cage.
I agree, and we talk about Olmstead being out last game, so it's going to take a couple possessions there for him to get going too.
Canto with a stop on Duffy,
but has so far, as we've mentioned. So I think it'd be great to see the ball in his stick a little bit. Canto, though, just meeting the task each and every time. He's hugging the pipes well and seeing the ball.
You talk about how good Jacob Stover had been. Tyler Canto wasn't sure he was going to be the starting goalie this year. Shane Brennan goes out with an injury, who's the starter for a majority of last season. He is back healthy now, by the way, Shane Brennan, but he's now the number 2 because you can't take out Tyler Canto, saving 14 shots a game on this 3-0 start. Down on the doorstep, it's Frommert.
Again, really nice play by Towson, just really playing methodical offense, right? They're just being patient, they're executing, they're waiting to strike, and when they see an opening, boom, catch, feed, finish. Really effective way that the Towson is playing offense. And again, nothing too special there. As we see, just the heads turned here for the Loyola defense. Quick play from behind.
Give the assist to Jake McLean, the midfield McLean. Got a pair of them on this Towson team. Woodall had the faceoff originally, lost the ball. Now the scrum, and it's Brody McLean, the attackman, who gets it, but a nice takeaway check there by Loyola. Paul Valance. That's big-time stuff to get your team a possession.
I think so, too, and hopefully they can use that to gain some momentum here, right, especially on one when it wasn't a clean face-off win by Towson, but the ball gets kicked right to their player. So the ball bouncing very favorably for the Towson Tigers right now, so Loyola's going to have to do something to really change that.
Olmsted working against Gray Bowden. Shot and a score! The sophomore scrapes the ice. Aiden Olmsted with a goal.
Yeah, Trav, I think you said it last possession there, right? They really want to see what Olmsted can bring him here from X, right? Spencer's getting a lot of attention, being shut off, but Olmsted is very capable as a dodger and a feeder and a finisher here, as we see. Nice little quick stutter there, getting to his left hand and turning the corner. Really textbook there, keeping it high on the 6'6" Canto, though, there in cage, but strong move by Olmsted, and I think he's going to be a big catalyst for them to continue that offensive production.
I think that was such a key for Yale last year because you had Ben Reeves, but then you also had Jackson Morrill, who could be a second carrier if they wanted to try to take Ben Reeves out of the game, and it proved to be a national championship winning formula for the Bulldogs.
Couldn't agree more, because no matter what, right, one guy's not going to win a championship, so you want to be creating as many tools and as many different options as you possibly can.
Here comes Spencer off the crossbar. Olmsted, though, right place, right time, and he gets it back to Pat. Nice face-off win by Savio to start up this offensive set.
Loyola getting a little fire now, playing a little bit faster, playing with a little sense of urgency.
And Lindley all alone.
Couple extra fakes there just to make sure.
4 goals on the night for the sophomore from Darien, Connecticut.
Nice job by Loyola here as an offensive unit, showing some maturity here coming out in this second quarter, right? Towson has been really having their way and getting the best of this matchup, but Loyola staying poised, right? Never too high, never too low, and going on a run of their own.
You saw the double team on Spencer. Lindley with his 4th. We'll be back here on LSN.
Hey everybody, Tom Eschen here in the LSN studios. All season long, we're tracking the Player of the Year watch here on Lax Sports Network. This week, Yale faceoff man T.D. Erlin. In a top 6 matchup over the weekend, the Albany transfer went 25 of 31 with 22 ground balls against Penn State. It's 81% at the X. Not a bad way to continue making a first impression on your new team. Possibly the most impressive part about it is he did it against another preseason All-American in Gerard Arceri. Entering this week, Erlin led the nation, winning nearly 77% at the Faceoff X, coming off a season when he broke the single-season record for faceoff win percentage while at Albany. Stay tuned all year long as we continue to track the Player of the Year race here on LSN. Now, let's get you back out to the game.
Johnny Unitas Stadium, Travis Eldridge and Davey Emla with you here on LSN. Pat Spencer has been involved, but not scoring. Scoring the ball has been Kevin Lindley, something that he does best.
He does, and you can see why Coach likes this attack chemistry so much. You got 2 guys who are outstanding ball carriers and feeders, and you got Lindley, who's just one of the better finishers here in the country. Small lefty, really impressive game. He's just in the right spot at the right time, knows when to make his cuts, knows when to fade, knows where to be at all times. Really opens himself up for a lot of scoring opportunities. Already has 4 tonight. He's going to have a lot of goals this season.
You saw Spencer, and you've seen this throughout the first half, backing down his man and then feeding Lindley there on the backside. I was talking to Scott Ratliff, the Greyhound alum, on my podcast last week, and he actually compared him to Lyle Thompson, his ability to use his big body, back a defender down, and then have eyes on a swivel to be able to feed or score, do whatever he wants from that kind of back down, post up position.
I think that's interesting. I think that is a great comparison there from Scott, and he's right in that both those players have the ability and strength to back their defender down, but still see what's going on behind them. And then the last part of that is turning and delivering an accurate feed right to the stick of their teammate.
A big loose ball, and Stover comes out of the crease to grab it, and that's a big win for the face-off unit for Loyola.
Absolutely is. Anytime it's a 50-50 ground ball, you want Green coming up with that as best as you can. Great job there, getting another chance to get a possession and build on this momentum they've gained here offensively.
Some issues getting over midfield, but Cole Boland able to do it. The short stick D-Mitty. Another place where Loyola has an injury, and Matt Higgins getting hurt in that first game against UVA, supposed to be the top short stick on this defensive midfield unit. So the Greyhounds still trying to figure things out defensively, but they're back within one against the Tigers midway through this second quarter.
Seen a lot of action from this Loyola attack, and rightfully so, getting a lot of attention. But I know Coach Toomey would love to see one of his midfielders, Duffy, right, maybe a Scanlon come in here and you know, create some movement on the defense and perhaps get a feed or a shot.
This is McGovern. It's called a Swiss Army knife by Charlie Toomey this week. Played attack, he's played midfield, done actually both this year. As Chase Scanlon gets the hands free, it's stopped by Canto, but a flag. The freshman able to beat his man.
You know, and that's just what we're talking about, right? A lot of action from these attackmen that we've been seeing, right? And Scanlon, the freshman, just taking it upon himself to really make a tough play, right? Just committing to getting underneath and putting his shoulder down there and ultimately drawing a flag, giving his chance a team his chance for a man-up opportunity and a chance to tie up this game. So
Scanlon once again working against Zach Goodrich. And this is going to be a 1-minute non-releasable penalty for an illegal body check. It goes up against Chad Patterson, the long stick senior from Maryland for the Tigers. So an extra man opportunity. Loyola 0 for 1 on the EMO so far tonight. Shot saved there by Canto. Resets the 80. Big run out. And Duffy able to win the race to the sideline.
Towson's got to be careful on that backside pipe there. I think Olmstead was a little wide open. Make sure they get that backside rotation.
Duffy, Spencer working from the top of the box.
Right, they're making one guy play two. There it is.
Great stop there by Kobe Smith. He has just been terrific, but a loose ball push on Smith gives it right back to Loyola.
Right, no second chance opportunities. That's tough for Towson. Just giving this, not only this offense, this extra man unit, another chance.
And you know, the tempers are going to flare. A big rivalry game, a lot on the line. Great crowd here at Johnny Unitas Stadium, but you can't let those mistakes hurt you. As Duffy took his eye off at a tough laser of a pass, and Towson gets it back anyway.
Kobe Smith with a little sigh of relief right there.
He's okay to go over to Coach Nadelman at halftime.
But you can see, even in this second quarter, right, each possession is gaining more importance as we go through. And I think each coach understands that this is going to come down to little plays here and there and which team can execute and not hurt themselves or make any mistakes that's going to cause damage to their own team.
We're back to even strength as Wilkerson brings it over for Towson. A penalty kill for the Tigers as they go back to work offensively with a 1-goal lead. Monahan thought about it from way downtown. Tough angle shot there from McLean. Tails wide, Tigers keep the possession.
McLean, another guy there with some size at 6'3" on that lefty shooting spot for this Towson attack. They got some big athletes out there.
They do. McLean, the other McLean, the midfield one, Jake, goes to work. Skip pass across to him. Navigated. Had Frommert there for a second in the middle of this zone defense for Loyola. Under 10 now on the shot clock for Towson. They're going to give it to Sunday with 5. Maloof just sails it to the corner. Heads up play on the end of the shot clock there for Towson. First shot clock violation tonight. Reminder here, Major League Lacrosse will select its next generation of stars Saturday, March 9th at the 2019 MLL Collegiate Draft. Who's going to go first overall? Find out right here on Lax Sports Network. Coverage begins for the draft. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, March 9th, the Major League Lacrosse Collegiate Draft coming up here on LSN.
I think that could be a big stop there for Loyola's defense, right? That's the first really true shot clock violation. Really, Towson was not able to earn any quality looks there. So Loyola's defense is certainly settling in, feeling a little bit more confident, and hopefully looking to get some stops here before halftime.
And this is Olmsted once again working from X. He's had some success here, but a
Nice check.
strip by Bowden. Ray Bowden able to force the turnover for Towson. Ray Bowden, a guy who played LSM for Towson for a lot of last season, moving to the close defense this year and showing you the ability to take out a number 2 guy. But a turnover there for Timmy Monahan. I don't know what he was trying to force there on the sideline.
That stuff, especially on the bench side, you never want to be clearing on that side of the field. So tough one for Towson there to give the ball right back to this Loyola offense.
Spencer's got a short stick matchup. Shot sails wide. Kobe Smith almost had a beat on that one again. He has been all over the field defensively.
He has been. He's been, locking down Pat Spencer here, also running out a couple shots, just trying to get as many opportunities for his team as possible.
Loyola offense, so good so far this year. 17, 18, and 13 goals in their first 3 games, respectively. Held to 5 so far this first half. This is Logan Devereaux, bodied up.
Both defensive units are really getting into the hands of these offensive players. You're seeing the ball hit the ground a lot here, just both teams going back and forth, sort of like heavyweight blows almost.
This rivalry not for the meek, Davey.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Those checks don't feel good either in the cold.
Here goes Spencer again against Smith. This has been a great battle to watch.
And this is what Scott Ratliff was referring to, right? That sort of back down. See Lyle Thompson does as well. Able to find someone for a high-quality shot.
Lindley off the face mask of Canto.
Probably the first one Lindley's not scored.
And a nice win on the ground ball by Wilkerson, but a turnover in the clearing game. And back comes Loyola.
Right, those are the plays right there. That's what's going to drive coaches crazy, right? You do work hard, get a stop. All you have to do is clear the ball, and you give it right back to these teams. The team that is able to control that and do that less and make life harder for yourself is going to end up being victorious here, I believe.
Spencer has plenty of time to navigate with still full 60 seconds left on this shot clock.
Yep, looks like they're going to take their time, make Towson play another full shot clock of defense here, try to wear these guys down.
McGovern now to Olmsted, back over to Spencer. He's got a different matchup now as Chad Patterson defends it.
Looks like for this repossessing, Towson shifted back to his zone.
McGovern!
Not going to get that one back.
The ball just bounced right to him. Alex McGovern, a golden opportunity there, can't cash in. Spencer
Nice
in the middle, can't complete the pass, and Kobe Smith going in transition. For Loyola, you always got to keep your eye on Kobe Smith when he picks up those ground balls and has a chance to run. Instead, he gets it to Brody McLean. Stripped away.
Stick checks on both ends of the fields here.
His defense is putting on a show. Paul Vallant with a nice play, and he's going to stay on. He had Grant Maloof locked on there, and I think they're going to they may try to keep Maloof on here in the substitution game. That's exactly what Loyola's going to do, as you can see on the far side of your screen.
Yep, Loyola content playing 5-on-5 there, unfortunately. Can't get quite into their offense as they're throwing away. We're just seeing a lot of those plays. Little bit of sloppy play here and there from both these teams, really.
Coming up at halftime, we'll break down this one in the LSN Broadcast Center. Get some reaction from analyst Jamie Monroe. Also check in on some of the other college action going on around the country. Some good women's games today. A trio of top 20 matchups. This one under 10 seconds to go in this first half. Towson's got to go. 6 seconds left.
Not sure.
Monahan sails one. I'm not sure what Towson was doing on that last possession, but the Tigers are going to enter halftime with a 1-goal lead over the #1 team in the country. As we look here ahead to the second half, Alex Woodall was good at the face-off X. 8 of 13. Loyola at 38%, which is under that 40 to 60 range that Coach Toomey told us earlier this week they wanted to be at. But they did a pretty good job throughout that first half of making it a scrum and keeping things even at the X.
They did. There's a couple times there when Woodall was able to win the ball cleanly and get it into his offensive end, but when Loyola is able to make it a 50-50 ground ball, it really is anyone's ground ball and has evened out the possessions a little bit.
Right on cue, Alex Woodall wins it to himself.
Does a great job there, that's right.
And gets it to the All-American short stick, Zach Goodrich.
It'd be interesting to hear what Coach Nadlin's message to his Towson Tigers over halftime would be. I think, he'd be very pleased with how they came out and how they started this game, and will look to continue to do that in the second half. I think for them, really just cleaning up some stuff maybe in between the lines and clearing the ball successfully would really help them out here.
Shot clock didn't start on possession there, so once again, something that all the shot clock operators have been working through with the new shot clock rules, when to start this clock and the resets and everything. So our referee crew getting things all set. They got to reset the game clock as well. So there should be 72 seconds on the shot clock, and we've got that all figured out. That's 8 seconds that's gone by in the game, Davey. I know you did math at North Carolina.
I appreciate your help, though, as always.
And an early stoppage here to start the third quarter. These guys in a chilly night in Baltimore would like to let's get this thing moving.
Absolutely. Especially as this game goes on, it's only going to probably get colder and colder. So you want to keep those legs moving and really keep those sticks moving, right? Your hands can freeze up a little bit. You want to make sure that you're throwing and catching just like you're always used to.
As they figure things out here, we saw both teams not quite as sharp as I think we expected heading into this matchup. What do you think that is?
I think it has to do with a couple different factors. I think one being the midweek game, having to change up a schedule, right? They both played this weekend and then having to turn around and really, face your biggest opponent yet of this season. And then I think that's the other part, just a big game, right? There's a lot of nerves, there's a lot of tension. You got some, freshmen playing some key roles in this game. So I think now in this second half, both teams will be settled down and we'll see some fireworks lacrosse.
Here comes McLean. Back out top to Monahan. First midfield unit in. Gets it to Frommert. He found another pipe. And he landed in the crease, and it'll be a Loyola possession.
Really nice move to get inside there. Just hits their 5th pipe of the night.
You think about it, your coach, Sean Nadlin, aim inside the pipe.
I know it.
Not on it.
And I think that more than the other plays too, just because we're just getting going in this second half, and that really would have set a good sort of tone here for that Towson offense. But no, another pipe, and here we are. Loyola's got the ball with a chance to score first.
Get that first midfield unit back out there for the Greyhounds. John Duffy, along with Alex McGovern, getting the start here for the Greyhounds instead of number 15 PJ Brown, and this is Chase Scanlon, the freshman.
See Loyola there keeping their pole on, content with playing 5-on-5 lacrosse that can open up the field, get more space for their guys like Scanlon that can move.
Duffy, he can score from downtown. That shot just high.
We talk about in the first half too, still looking for some midfield production here from Loyola.
This one, another one from Kevin Lindley. Make it a 5 spot for the sophomore.
Again, just another nice little lefty C curl on the inside with a nice find by Scanlon there. Something that obviously you don't see here with Lindley is how much his teammates trust him, right? They're just going to throw that ball in even if he's covered, right? He's gained that trust from them, whether it be through these games and through practices. But, 31 is really putting on a finishing clinic here.
Entered the game shooting better than 50%. He's 5 for 8 today shooting the ball.
That's always a good thing when you're around.
You ever shoot
that
50%, Davey?
I'd like to think so, but I'm probably not.
And once again, Loyola to make this a scrum, and it's Lindley who wins the ground ball. Unsettled situation. Big save by Canto. Right on the doorstep, Canto stones Olmsted. And that would have been a gigantic momentum swing if the Hounds could capitalize there.
That would have been huge. Instead, Canto's getting some noise from his Towson faithful, I think. They really appreciate that save. He's been great, man. That's all. He takes up a lot of that cage at 6'6".
Remember, Loyola has not led in this game. The #1 overall team in the country has been playing from behind for most of it. Finally have gotten back even here, tied 6-6. Here's Brody McLean. Working around to X. Now Sunday, he had a hat trick in the first half. Casey Wasserman bounce shot never got through, and it's kicked back to Stover. And it seems like Towson has been out of rhythm when Loyola has dropped back into that zone.
Yeah, it has. It seems that, Towson is sort of loses their patience a little bit and maybe will settle for some outside shots, or, we talk about good shots, not great shots, and that's exactly what Loyola wants. They have a lot of confidence in their goalkeeper.
But a failed clear as they only had 4 seconds left to get over midfield. Stover couldn't connect on the pass, and so Towson another chance to take advantage of the turnover.
That's something that we hit on for Towson in the first half, was those failed clears, right? Those are things that come back to bite you, as we see both teams getting a little sloppy here, handling the ball in between the restraining lines. Very, very important to take care of the ball and be 100% on your clears.
Both these teams trying to figure things out. It seemed like Towson had figured out this Greyhounds defense early. Put up 4 goals in that first quarter. Greyhounds locking things down in the second. And good defense there on the hands of McLean, forces another turnover.
If I'm Towson coming in offense next possession, I'm making sure that ball gets in the stick of Brendan Sunday, right? He's had an outstanding game, and everything has been moving based off of him. So sort of getting back to what we've done well so far this game, I think, is the best bet for Towson.
And a successful clear. John Duffy gets it into the offensive end. Chase Scanlon, a guy who has had, despite being a freshman, has plenty of experience playing in big games, played for the Iroquois Nationals and the World Championships this past summer.
No doubt about it, and I think you can see that in his skill set, and you see the respect they have for him by putting their Goodrich on him, right? Their best short stick, D-Midi. Right? Very shifty. Scanlon always keeping his eyes up. Talented
Duffy
player.
Taken away. What a check. What a play by Andrew O'Dare. Hey, there's more than one short stick defensive midfielder
right
on this Towson team.
Let them know. Let them know.
And O'Dare successfully completes the clear for the Tigers. So no goals yet in this third quarter, but for Towson, but some momentum shifting plays for Towson early on.
Yeah, I think just both teams are now just focused on getting some good defensive stands, right? I think that's important, and coming down to the end of this game, that's going to be vital here. So whichever team defensively can settle in and feel most comfortable the earliest is going to benefit here as this game goes on.
Both these teams been doing a good job of making this a settled 6-on-6 game. It's another sloppy pass and another turnover. Greyhounds with a chance.
Not out yet.
And here comes Duffy.
Right, we see as this game goes on, like in between the lines is just going to be essential here. Whichever team is controlling possession there, it's going to have the advantage.
And both these teams are teams that can get up and go in transition. And both sides have decided we're going to take that away.
Yeah.
We're not going to let the other team beat us going unsettled.
And you got to do, sort of to what your team is playing to that particular night, right? Neither team is really free and flowing, right? Playing high-powered offense, right? So you have to sort of take that and adjust.
Spencer got a pick. And moving screen on Loyola. And turnovers back and forth. Been a sloppy game at times here in this blockbuster matchup. Good time to remind you, Lacrosse Now is the only place you can get a complete roundup for the entire lacrosse world every night. Lacrosse happens 365 days a year. We've got you covered on all of them with news, highlights, and analysis you can't find anywhere else. Lacrosse Now every night, 9 p.m. Eastern on Lax Sports Network. We won't show the sloppiness tonight on Lacrosse Now. It's just been back and forth, and you got a broken stick as well.
It's very real, though. You know, on a cold night in a high-pressure situation, you can tend to grip that stick very tight.
Spencer one-on-one. Gets forced behind the cage by Bowden. Spencer. Trying to body up the 6'2", 215 junior down low. Gets rid of it up top. Shot barely gets through. Finds the stick of Lindley. Another shot and a save by Canto.
Really?
And more sloppiness gives it right back to Cam Wires and the Hounds. It's got to be driving Sean Nadeline crazy.
I would imagine so. I think any coach watching and understanding how important valuing the ball is here in this game, it's just got to be frustrated. But at the same time, you know, this is the situation that you're in, and both teams have to continue to play.
And Duffy saw no one home on the backside, and it's a turnover for Loyola. The 14th turnover for the Greyhounds today. You got 12 for Towson.
You know, we talk about Towson's size here on offense. I'm looking at Brody McLean, number 7 here. He usually has the size advantage in his masses. I'd love to see him put his shoulder down and get a shot off. He has a cannon for a shot here. So seeing number 7 on that left side involved a little bit more.
Sunday to Maloof, step down, shot high. This is a Towson team. You mentioned McLean. They've shown off the ability to score from outside against Hopkins early on this season. Something they may have to show against this zone defense.
Absolutely.
And a stop by Stover, kicked wide, and Stover settles in.
Goalies dueling back and forth here, right? A couple nice saves. I think that's a credit to both these goalies. Both teams are able to sit back and invite that shot from the outside because they know their guy is going to see it and hopefully come up with a big save and a clear going the other way.
2 top 10 offenses have met their match so far tonight. Number 1 versus number 7 here at Johnny Unitas Stadium in Towson, Maryland. Loyola and Towson both looking to stay unbeaten. Feed across, and McGovern not home for Loyola. 15 turnovers now on the Greyhounds.
And that's a lot. And I think both teams, specifically Loyola here on offense, are getting in the habit of watching the ball carry a little bit too much, right? Not a lot of action going on off ball with guys just doing simple things, just exchange spots, right? Force your defense to keep an eye on you, turn his head, right? All those little things can create offense for you, especially in a situation where things aren't flowing like they usually do, right? Stick work is struggling a little bit. We're not as locked in as we usually are. So some simple things, off-ball movement, just to get yourself going is always a good thing.
Towson in the middle of quite the drought. Haven't scored. 9:05 left in the second quarter. Nearing the 5:30 mark here of quarter number 3. Just 1 goal in this third quarter belongs to the Hounds. Tied things up at 6. And Sunday once again just took his eye off of it. And the Hounds a chance to go in transition. See if they got numbers. Good hustle play. It's interesting shot by Scott Middleton. And Loyola, Coach Toomey, saw the unsettled situation, didn't like what he saw, and he calls a timeout. We'll step aside here on Lax Sports Network. We're all knotted up between number 1 and number 7.
Hey everybody, Tom Eschen here in the LSN studios. As you can obviously see, definitely some future pros in the field in Maryland this afternoon. And with that in mind, the MLL draft coming up on March 9th from Charlotte at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, where you can see it right here on LSN. In the last few weeks, the MLL has released their projected draft prospects. Here are some of the notable names from college lacrosse on that list. You can see Chris Sabia in there, Isaac Paparo, Alex Woodall, you've been seeing up close and personal today in the face-off X, and of Drew Chance, Jack Ty in the midfield, as well for Yale, another big prospect for the MLL. Of course, we didn't leave anybody off the list. This was a list of about 80 guys that they put together over the last few weeks. Pat Spencer is the projected number 1, one of the top prospects to come out in a long time. You can watch the MLL Draft right here on Lax Sports Network on March 9th live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Our coverage starts at 7 Eastern. The Ohio Machine on the clock. Who will they pick number 1? Will it be Pat Spencer? Will it be somebody else? We'll find out live from the NASCAR Hall of Fame here on LSN on March 9th.
Back with you. Good crowd tonight at Johnny Unitas Stadium watching a top 10 tilt. The battle for Baltimore as Towson and Loyola are all locked up at 6 apiece. Davey, both sides have been sloppy, but also both sides have struggled to find, especially Towson, find the shots they saw in the first half against this Loyola defense. The Greyhounds making some really good adjustments.
They are. You know, the Loyola defense has sort of sat back into a zone, as we've talked about, inviting those outside shots here from Towson. And a lot of times that allows you to settle for shots and, you know, not really earn great shots, which I think Towson has to get back to doing. And, you know, the same thing for Loyola offensively. I think we saw a lot of action and a lot of creation from Olmstead there in the first half. And they haven't really gone back to him and allowed him to operate from X yet. So I think it's important for them to go with what's worked so far and try to get both teams in a rhythm.
Matt Spencer will start with it. No goals for Spencer tonight, just 3 assists. Kevin Lindley has been the star for the Greyhounds. 5 goals so far, including the one that just tied things up in this third quarter to get us to this 6-6 tie.
Again, as Kobe Smith is making it tough for Pat to get the ball, every dead ball whistle shot off the end line, he should be the one picking it up, right? Get it in his stick, able to make his plays.
Spencer has every yellow jersey around him. Canto, I don't know if he got some of that or if it just sailed wide, but it stays out. There were 6 yellow jerseys facing Pat Spencer on that last play.
He certainly demands a lot of attention, and that's why usually Loyola can have so many open players off the ball when Pat has it, and he's able to back those guys in because all of those defenders are locked in looking at number 7.
Govern dishes off for Duffy. 10 seconds now on the shot clock, and they give it to Spencer.
Make some movement here, trying to clear space.
Gets the hands free, and Canto able to slide over and make the stop. 10 saves now on the night for Tyler Canto.
Again, the clearing has been an event here for both teams.
Brody McLean, right place, right time, saving a possession for the Tigers. Just 12 of 17 on the clear for Towson today. We will see how this Tigers offense looks to operate against this Loyola zone defense. It seemed to work so far.
It's important here that the Towson offense continues to attack. Right? A lot of times when people sit in zone, there's a tendency to hold back and sort of wait to see what the defense gives you. It's important that Towson attacks their gaps, plays gap principles here. Draw a man, find the 2-on-1, and get a layup on the backside. Easier said than done, but those are the principles here that they're trying to talk about playing against the zone defense.
This is where they can rely on the saving ability of Jacob Stover in cage. Skip pass. Now Frommer down low from his knees. Stopped by Stover. And it'll get a fresh 80, though, for Towson. Big ground ball, you're right.
We see here these short sticks for Loyola defense on the top edges here. We call that cowboy zone defense. All right, as an offense for Towson, you want to attack these short sticks, make them move, make others slide, and that really gets the whole group moving.
Skip pass is intercepted.
Feet still, heels on the ground. Tough to throw that skip.
And Ryan McNulty, the LSM, goes.
I would push transition here.
From way downtown, shot sails wide. Matthew Bennis, the short stick defensive midfielder. He's got 0 career points, was looking for his first career goal there.
I like that, though. You know, it's been tough for both teams in this second half to score 6-on-6, so why not push transition a little bit, right? You have a guy back there to back up the ball. You're going to maintain possession. You know, getting a transition goal can really wake up a team and get you guys grooving.
Logan Devereaux lays the lumber, but the pass goes all the way through. Gets to Swindell. Now Olmstead. He had the short stick on him in Goodrich, but I don't know if that's a matchup you exactly can go after.
Olmsted did a nice job there handling that double team, maintaining possession. That's something that doesn't show up in the stats, but very important.
Spencer, again, backing down his man.
No slide ready.
And he gets triple teamed, knocked over.
Got a hold.
And we've got a hold that'll keep it with Spencer.
So right now, Pat Spencer's going. He's got to pick up that ball. This Loyola offense, it should be moving.
It looked like Spencer may have been in the crease as well, but that was not called. Spencer goes back to work from X. Once again, trying to use that size. Flips it back. Shot from Olmsted didn't get through. And Kobe Smith, guess who? Right place, right time for the ground ball.
See if Towson elects to push transition here.
Smith, I don't know if that was a shot or a pass. Refs say it's a shot, and Frommert backs it up. And you're right, when this zone defense is got, it's like the Syracuse 2-3 in basketball
right,
here.
Exactly. You know, you got to pick and choose when you're going to run, and understanding that it's going to be a slow process here to get these 6-on-6 goals. So if there is an opportunity to find a 3-on-2 or 2-on-1 in transition, I would take it.
And with the shot clock, this is one of the things that coaches who were against a shot clock said about the possibility of implementing it is teams drop back into a zone.
Right.
And you don't have as much time to operate as you once did.
Right. And I think as a player, it certainly affects the flow of the game for you, is right. You're not getting as many touches. Things are slowed down for you, and your juices aren't going as they would be if you're, in a possession, every 20 seconds.
Sunday ends the drought for the Tigers. He's got 4. Towson back up 1.
We've been talking about Brendan Sunday all afternoon. I mean, if Towson's going to come out on top, he's going to be the guy, the catalyst for this group that's going to be doing it. Each one of his goals has just been a really solid individual effort, just going one-on-one. Again, right, we talk about exploiting those matchups with the short sticks against this zone. Boom, just getting down the alley and really just getting off a nice high-to-low overhand lefty shot on the run.
Gigantic goal here, end of the third quarter, to swing momentum back toward Towson.
Love seeing that emotion out of Sunday as well, right? Seems like he's opening up, coming out here, having a big game for 24.
After a combined 11 goals in the first half, just 2 in this third quarter. Ryan McNulty chasing after the ground ball for Loyola. Towson will get the final possession here with 24 seconds left in the third.
Really big opportunity here for Towson to, go up 2 here heading into the fourth quarter. We'll see what they draw up and try to execute here. This is when you go to, your bread and butter. What is this unit as a group? What are we good at? What is our go-to? And how well are we going to execute?
Lane back out top to Maloof. Sunday, that one saved by Stover. 23 minutes between goals for Towson. With 3 seconds, they're trying to add one more. Frommert. And he can't get it off. Loyola able to keep Towson quiet for most of the third quarter. But the Greyhounds, the top team in the nation, still have not led in this one. Welcome back to Johnny Unitas Stadium. Travis Eldridge and Davey Emla back with you for the fourth quarter. Brendan Sunday has been the storyline for Towson so far. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 goals for Mr. Sunday.
Absolutely. Brendan Sunday came here to play today, getting his goals in all variety of different ways. You see him attacking from up top. You see him attacking from X, turning the corner hard, using his size and athleticism to his advantage, also bringing a lot of emotion to the table.
He was able to do it against the man-to-man defense from Loyola early, and then here in the third quarter, able to score against the zone defense of the Greyhounds, and the zone buster gives Towson a 1-goal lead entering this fourth quarter. Number 1 Loyola has not led in this game. Towson got off to a terrific start, also rang a bunch of posts early on. Offensively was a barrage against Jacob Stover in goal for Loyola. Loyola tied it up in the third. but has not been able to lead in this game. So number 7 Towson, the 7th ranked team in the country, looking to upset number 1 with 15 minutes to go. Another face-off win for the Tigers. And after things were relatively even, things starting to slant in the way of Alex Woodall, winning 11 of 17 so far at the X tonight. Sunday draws the double to Luke Frommer down low.
Really nice start to the fourth quarter here by Towson offensively, right? Get the violation on the face-off. What I like what they did was everyone got a touch there and was applying some light pressure to the Loyola defense, just looking to see if they made any defenders move, draw a slide. They did. Found a quick little turning of the corner there from that nice little finish there in tight.
Brendan Sunday's 5th point of the night as he's got an assist to go along with those 4 goals. Frommer 2nd of the night as well.
And again, that comes from attacking those short stick defenders in that defense from Loyola. Good things happen.
And another face-off win from Alex Woodall. This is when he can be so dangerous.
This is what Coach Toomey was worried about, right? They gain a little bit of a momentum here on offense and are able to play make it, take it.
Towson has gone on their runs this year. It's been when Alex Woodall has been great. He was terrific against Johns Hopkins in the opener, 21 of 28. Also had 3 points in that game. And when he is able to win faceoffs to give this offense the ball, they've been able to take advantage. They do again. Here. We've got a dive. Does the goal count? This has been the issue with the dive all season long.
Referee's giving us a little bit of suspense here.
So we get the push. Actually, so no, this is a call on Brody McLean. Brody McLean diving in. He was pushed. It's pretty clear, but they say he was not diving away from the goal mouth, makes contact with the goalie. We get a 1-minute penalty.
That's just the play right there in Lacrosse, right? That has just so much source of controversy and discussion. It's just such a quick bang play that it's tough to make that decision. But does look like McLean fell pretty much in the footing area of Stover. So would be hard to give him that one.
And what is tough around the crease is you have defensemen who are going to push those players toward the goal. So when you're going to dive, you have to try to figure out, all right, is this defenseman on my back going to push me into the goalie? How do I avoid that while also trying to dive across and score a goal?
Right, and I think that's the most difficult thing to gauge there is that, obviously you can sort of see physically where someone lands and make the call that way, but the defender, and if he's pushing, if not, is a whole nother thing that the referee and officials are really unable to judge.
And this is a chance to be a big momentum swing because that would have been a goal that puts Towson up by 3. Instead, Loyola gets the extra man opportunity and a chance to cut back into this lead. We're looking at a possible 2-goal swing over the course of this extra man as this penalty is releasable. 1 minute on Towson.
Lindley.
And Lindley finishes. How about a 6-pack for the sophomore?
Nice little a man-up play there by Loyola Greyhounds, just putting the defender on the inside in a tough situation when you get 2 cutters there in the middle. We had Lindley in there going to one pipe and another teammate getting to the backside pipe, so that defender has to choose who he's going to. Any second of hesitation is going to leave one of those players open, and Lindley, who can catch and finish with the best of them, is right there.
Lindley now with a season-high 6 goals. His career high came last year as a freshman when he hung 8 on Holy Cross. And like I mentioned, 2-goal swing. Towson would have gone up by 3. Instead, it's now a 1-goal game as Loyola cuts back onto it on the extra man goal. But a violation gives the Tigers the offensive set. Let's see how they respond, because it seemed like they came into this fourth quarter with a lot of momentum.
I agree. I think they did as well. And, this offensive possession is going to tell us a lot. I think Coach Nadlin is going to be in these guys' ears, continuing to play the way they have been, being patient, waiting to see if they can earn great shots here for high percentage opportunities.
Maloof back over to Sunday. Maloof draws the defense and the dink and dunk goal. A finish for the Tigers. It's McLean. They're back up 2.
It's a nice job by Towson there, staying the course, being patient, as we just talked about. Problem with Loyola and that zone defense is sometimes when you get moving, it's hard to know who's supposed to rotate there or who's supposed to cover down the backside. And really, it's all too easy for Brody McLean just to walk right in front of the net there and score. Stays out of the crease, unlike the last play, makes that nice adjustment there. But that's a big goal for Towson there, and really when no one was able to get across on defense there for Loyola.
And a very similar play that we saw on the other side of the cage that was successful, the first goal of the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. So, Loyola seemed a little susceptible there right at GLE, getting a couple goals scored on him.
Woodall wins it to himself. Woodall shot just high. Alex Woodall looking for goal number 3 on the season.
Woodall, he really is such a force. It's hard not to be worried about him doing that every time. When he gets ahead of steam, he's coming north-south hard.
Guy we talked about at the top, Alex Woodall, dropped 25 pounds this offseason. Feels like he's in the best shape of his life. And he's certainly shown it early on in this 2019 campaign. Sunday.
Greg Grenlian talk about him. His footwork has caught up with his power.
And we've got a flag down as Greg I draws it. 2 flags down.
So Towson here, look for them to be even more patient, right? They have essentially a free possession. Essential for them to earn a great opportunity if they can.
I bounces one. Frommert couldn't keep it in. He's frustrated with himself. Could have probably killed another 25 seconds here. And instead, it will be a man-up situation for Towson.
That'll be a nice teaching moment in film for them tomorrow. For Coach Nadlin there.
Not the best shot that they probably could have gotten in that situation. Got a slash on Ryan McNulty, the LSM. It'll be a minute penalty here as the Tigers go on the man up.
No, this is a big time man up possession here for Towson. The saying, as a team, go up 3 goals in the fourth quarter, you should win that game. So this is a chance for Towson to gain some separation, and with the strong defense and mentality that they have, right? Loyola's going to have to start climbing back. But again, very important man up opportunity here for the Tigers.
Towson 0 for 2 tonight, but entered this game 41% on the man up. We'll see if they can better the percentages here this evening at Johnny Unitas Stadium. Figuring out the clock issue once again. Luke Frommert gets ready to trigger things in for the Tigers.
Be interesting to see what Towson elects to go with here on the man up, right? As you mentioned, they're 0 for 2, right? So if they have play that they're able to draw up or that have practiced, depends on whether they're looking for a shot on the inside or step down with hands free.
Sunday's working at the top of the box for Towson. Gets a shot, just high. One of the few Brendan Sundays missed today.
That's right. That's who you want shooting the ball, though.
Sunday looking for goal number 5. Loof.
Towson really just working this game up top. Ball really never touches the corners there or the pipes.
Sunday once again just off that crossbar.
Sunday unloading out here.
Got some fans dancing in the end zone. Better watch out when Brendan Sunday shoots. Keep your head on a swivel, kids. Maloof. Now to Sunday. Way downtown. Some outside looks here for Towson.
Yeah, just continuing with that sort of rotation with the guys up top here.
5 seconds left on the penalty, and we are back to even strength as Stover corrals it in his crease.
It's a nice job by Loyola, though. Big opportunity for them to prevent an extra goal on the power play for Loyola, or for Towson, excuse me.
You're a true NLLer now, saying the power play. Davey Emila, the New England Black Wolves.
That's right.
So we see how Loyola can answer. Maybe a chance to build on some momentum, killing the 1-minute man up for Towson. John Duffy. Aiden Olmstead had some success in the first half. Haven't seen much of him here in the second. They force it into Spencer. Ends up in Lindley's stick, but Canto up to the challenge. Olmstead keeps it alive. That was a golden chance for Kevin Lindley to get goal number 7. Instead, it's Scanlon. Shakes, finds Lindley on the backside.
Oh my gosh.
How did Canto keep it out?
What a save. Canto.
Tyler Canto is save number 12, and it is by far his best.
Towson in a little situation again, clearing the ball. Wow, what a save. That is huge. That is huge for Towson.
Kevin Lindley had the entire cage open.
Twice.
And Canto found a way to get his stick in front of it.
You know, those are the saves and the plays you look back on as a coach, really, and for the whole season, that's something that you build momentum off of. Tyler Canto just making an incredible amount of his opportunity.
McNulty with a big steal at the top. The LSM from Bishop Shanahan High School. And a chance to set things up for Aiden Olmstead, as this Loyola offense just has to be shaking their heads.
Absolutely, you know, unfortunate for them, but, you know, they don't have any times to hang their head or feel sorry for themselves, right? It's the fourth quarter, they're down 2, they got to make something happen pretty soon.
Duffy dodges. Across to Olmstead. He's got the short stick matchup. He's got Brendan Sunday stuck on defense. Olmstead stopped by Canto. Lindley feeds, deflected and stolen away. What an effort by the Tigers. He had the attackman stuck on one of the better offensive players for Loyola, and they couldn't take advantage.
Well, shot right into Canto's stomach there. Got away with that one. But, you know, the Tigers, every member of their defense doing something to help clear the ball out. And at this point, that's all that matters, that they're not allowing any more goals, getting that ball out, successfully clearing it. Just, you know, cool to see this momentum building here. Towson is starting to feel it a little bit.
Under 8 minutes to go, the 7th-ranked Tigers look at upset number 1 Loyola. Tigers have not beaten the number 1 team in the country since 1992, as Sunday sails that one wide.
He likes that spot.
He
likes that spot. He's continuing to fire from there, but I think that's also important for Towson, is to continue to put pressure here on the Loyola defense and on Stover, right? You see teams trying to take time off the clock. Usually you lose that aggressiveness. Good to see him still putting pressure here on the cage.
By the way, that last time Towson beat number 1, it was against Loyola in 1992, an overtime win, an 8-7 victory by the Tigers.
Rivalries have a funny way of doing that.
Now just about 10 seconds on the shot clock. Up top, Monahan.
It's going to be Loyola ball.
Good hustle play there on the end line. Alex Johnson able to chase that one down. Cam Wires looking for an outlet, and he finds it. It's Cole Boland.
Just noticed Towson's attack there is sort of a drop-back ride. Interesting that they weren't coming up to pressure and make that clear tough on him, just on the way the clears have been going all game.
Now look, they have time on their side, up by a couple, under 7 minutes to go now. Pat Spencer has been held without a point in this second half. 3 assists in the first. Lindley tries to split 2, ends up in the stick of Spencer.
It's an example of how much they trust Lindley, though, right? They throw the ball to him no matter what, if he's guarded or not. but they're also really looking for a spark here, for something to happen.
Spencer finally gets one to
There you
go.
go.
Right on cue. If you needed a time for him to show up, he showed up right then.
That's exactly right, and that's what, you know, really outstanding generational type players do, is that they're never going to be out of it, right? You can defend him for 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters, all you want, but it's still Pat Spencer with all that ability, and, you know, his classic sort of staple back down and just getting a little bit of separations for a nice little bounce shot. But you're absolutely right. If you're Loyola right now, who are you looking at? You're looking for number 7 to come bring you back here and remain at this number 1 spot. But really nice play from Pat and very timely.
Pat Spencer now with 4 points on the night. But another face-off win by Alex Woodall. This will become a big factor down the stretch, because Loyola's got to make up once. You either got to get a face-off win, or with the shot clock, you can still get stops on defense and create offensive opportunities.
Absolutely, and I think the key is which group here is going to play loose, right? Who's going to tighten up and sort of succumb to the moment, or who's going to continue to play and trust in your training and your practice and the guys next to you and make enough plays to win this game.
Monahan spins, hands free. Timmy Monahan puts the Tigers back up 2.
That ball absolutely snuck in that near side corner, I believe. You know, I've been watching Monahan shoot throughout the night. He has quite the release with a ton of whip on his stick. I think he really just needs to get this thing on cage, and it's really tough to save. And that's exactly what he did here, just snapping that wrist, high to low, sneaking it on the inside. Nice little roll without coming back.
Timmy Monahan, a
Tough
country fan.
Oh, yeah.
From Bethesda, Maryland.
There you go.
He likes it, he loves it, and he wants some more of it. A couple of goals for Timmy Monahan to give the Tigers a 2-goal lead. And with under 6 minutes to go, these face-offs continue to be even more important, and Woodall wins another. Transition to McLean, making another one for the Tigers.
Really, really nice finish there, but what a weapon Woodall is as we're seeing here, and this is exactly why Coach Toomey was so worried about it, is that he can just be a force, and he's just coming at you all game long, and you're just a force to reckon with. And obviously at the face-off X, but when he's able to do that and create offense, you know, Towson is a very tough team to beat. Got a lot of momentum now, and certainly are feeling it a little bit.
Now 73% at the face-off dot for Alex Woodall tonight. He's won 16 of 22.
It's a very mature response, too, from the Towson team, right, to get scored on, stop their momentum. There's 1 or 2 ways you can go, and just to win a face-off and come down and score, that's a very mature response there. Here we go again.
Another face-off win. Woodall looking for more, but his
he
shot
wanted it
sails
all
wide.
that time.
He wants the exclamation point.
That's right.
But now with a 3-goal lead, Sean Nadelin has to be thinking, let's kill some of this clock now. Largest lead of the game. Remember, Loyola has not led throughout, the #1 team in the country.
Right. Well, I think they certainly are going to have to kill some clock, but also you can do that by still applying pressure to the defense, right? They're not going to be playing keep away, running away from the game. You see Loyola now is forced to come out of that zone and apply a little bit of pressure. That usually opens up things for a Towson offense who's been, you know, seeing the zone all game.
Monahan from downtown wide.
That's big here.
But a good backup. Good hustle play by Peter Swindell.
Heads up play there, big time. That's been a little bit since they've been able to get a stop. So it's any way you can get a turnover and change of possession. Got to be careful on this clear.
Brian McNulty needed all 6'2" in order to stop that one. But under 5 minutes to go, Loyola's still in this thing. Aiden Olmstead going to work against Gray Bowden down low. Spencer comes to set a screen. And Kobe Smith is not letting
and you're seeing
Spencer get the ball.
Another sort of stick work, you know, malfunction here that we've seen a lot through the night. Your sticks are just a little off in this temperature, and we're seeing a lot of that.
Here comes McGovern down the alley. Under 30 seconds on the shot clock for Scanlon. This has been a tough matchup for the freshman against Goodrich, but he gets a flag. Goes right
He got
toward the
another one.
cage, gets another. 3 flags down. Chase Scanlon and Zach Goodrich were going at it.
Yeah, that's been a pretty fun matchup to watch. Those are two really athletic individuals there going head-to-head. And I like Scanlon. Obviously, we've talked about liking his game, but his fearlessness, right? He's not afraid to get underneath there and try to take a hit in order to make a play for his team. And that's the second time he's done that and been able to draw a penalty to allow them to go on man up, which Loyola has been very efficient with.
We got a cross check on Goodrich.
Imagine they're both on Goodrich.
And another foul on Goodrich.
Yep.
30-second hold to go along with the minute penalty as well.
You see the initial hit there, I think, right? Got a little bit high on the cross check, and then when Scanlon makes that hard move, you get a little wrap and an extra little hold. So, you know, both penalties
Zach
are going to be
Goodrich
called
got
there.
his money's worth.
That's right, he did. He's making sure the freshman won't forget him.
It's tough to forget the All-American. So Pat Spencer will trigger on this man-up unit for Loyola. Entered the game at a 33% clip on the season. 1 for 3 tonight. Right around their season average. And it'll be a 6-on-5 advantage for 1:30 for Loyola. A golden chance to get back within 2.
Yeah, we'll see what Loyola decides to draw up here. Really need to execute and produce something.
Duffy had a lane there. Instead, he decides he's going to keep the possession. Spencer operating at the top.
Towson just playing that box-and-1 defense, having their 4 long pulls on the perimeter, trying to get sticks up in passing lanes. Having a short stick inside, taken away.
Down low to Scanlon.
Nice find.
What a feed from Pat Spencer.
And that's critical, right, for Loyola. They had to capitalize on that opportunity, on that power play. It was a must-have for them. And, you know, we've talked about Scanlon a couple times tonight for doing some good things that haven't necessarily shown up on the score sheet, drawing penalties and whatnot. But obviously he gets a goal there and is continuing to show his diverse game. You know, a lot of times he starts with the ball in his stick, but the beneficiary there and able to finish on the doorstep for the freshman.
Scanlon's first goal of the night. He's now got 3 points with a couple of assists to go with
Big
it.
face-off here.
Yeah, and we've seen Alex Woodall just absolutely dominate in this second half. Bailey Savio needed it, but Woodall wins it forward. Bounce shot high again. Woodall is going for it every time.
Can't quite seem to get that lack of whip, I should say, on that bounce shot there. But again, he's creating opportunities for his Towson offense. You got a full shot clock here to try to take some time off the clock, but still apply a little bit of pressure. Obviously, with this 2-goal lead, doesn't have to be a ton of urgency, but they have to execute, right? We've seen a lot of passes being thrown away. Can't have any of that here. It's just too important of a time of the game.
Woodall entered this game tied for second in the country in face-off win percentage behind T.D. Erlin, sitting at 73%. He's improving that so far. He's at 75% on the game. Jake McLean beats his man, kicks it back out to Monahan. Fake shot. Now, what was going on there for Maloof, and he loses it. So big stop for Loyola. Now can they convert at the other end? Spencer, saved by Canto.
Ooh.
Rebound is good. We've got a long pole goal. Alex Johnson runs the floor.
Love to see that. Love to see that. Finally got a goal in transition here, right, for Loyola, running the field a little bit. I think that's by far the best thing that could have happened to them, right? Not a lot of great things are happening 6-on-6, and that's the fastest way to score, right? Go from defense, create that offense immediately, right? Get a nice little rebound. But way to run the field there for the long stick, right? That's exactly what you're taught to do. Run the entire field, good things happen. Boom, Loyola's within 1.
Right place, right time. Third career goal for Alex Johnson, his first of 2019. And he picked a great time for it. 2:13 to go. Woodall wins it back to himself. I mean, at this point, Loyola just has nothing at the face-off X compared to Alex Woodall.
No, and I think even making it a 50-50 opportunity is difficult at this point. He's almost getting stronger as the game's going on, which is huge here for Towson. 2 minutes left.
And that's something with the fitness, with Alex Woodall. Yeah. You mentioned you're down 25 pounds. He hit the weight room, spent the entire summer working on his body, his diet, trying to be in a position now, the end of a gigantic game, to win face-offs that they need to.
Absolutely, and that's why you do all that work, right? There's been absolutely no drop-off from his energy and his power here from the first face-off till this point in time.
Well, we got more games coming up the rest of this week here on LSN. Our CAA Game of the Week schedule continues with a Saturday doubleheader. First at 1 p.m. Eastern, Fairfield hosts Rutgers out of the Big Ten. Then at 3 p.m., Hofstra takes on Georgetown. The Hoyas entering this weekend ranked 19th in the latest polls. A CAA doubleheader Saturday afternoon, only on Lax Sports Network. We also have the game down in Texas at SMU, the Patriot Cup. Marquette and Ohio State continuing their Midwest rivalry. That'll be a good one. That's also on LSN on Saturday afternoon. So a loaded slate for you. David, you don't have to go anywhere. I know you got a game on Sunday for the Black Wolves. All you got to do is sit in all day Saturday and watch LSN.
That's what I do anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Some really good games that we've already seen. The early season matchups so far. All across, college across. This is just another one.
By the way, with that 10th and 11th goal, this is the first time Towson has hit double digits in their first 4 games since 1994.
Wow.
This is a Towson offense that maybe snuck up on some people. It was not a talk nationally, the Towson offense. That's just not something that we thought of entering this 2019 season. But after 17 goals against Hopkins, 12 against Mount St. Mary's, 14 against Georgetown, this is a unit to be reckoned with.
Absolutely, and they're showing you because they can do it in so many different ways, right? You got your shooters from out top. You got Brennan Sunday who's scoring in a variety of different ways, right? You got your Frummert scoring on the doorsteps. Just these guys are playing as a cohesive unit, all 6 guys engaged, and I think they're going to continue to be in the teens in terms of scoring.
So Loyola needs a stop. By the way, shout out to Zen Cantina in Towson. Sports Bar has this game on every single television. A good one if you're a Tigers fan.
Good old Zen West, yeah.
You frequent that place, Davey?
Not too much these days. I stay up in the New England area.
This is Grant Maloof, 40 seconds. So no matter what happens here for Loyola, they can get a stop with the shot clock, even if Towson runs this entire thing down, and still have plenty of time to try to tie it at the other end. McLean, back to Maloof. Shot saved by Stover. But it resets the shot clock, and now Towson is a situation. They're going to call a timeout, and they've got a situation where they can hold this thing for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, that was a really, really outstanding possession by Towson. Even though it did not end in a goal, they did a great job continuing to put pressure on Loyola's defense and even generate a really quality shot. Stover ends up making, a big-time save that keeps this game within 1. But sometimes, a lot of times in these pressure situations, offenses can get impatient and they want to go right away and they get careless. Right, really mature showing there from Towson to execute and now get a reset here and a chance to run out this clock.
By the way, throughout this game, Alex Woodall moving up the Towson Tigers all-time career face-off wins. Now 3rd place alone at 427 on his career. Entered the day needing 4 in order to move into 3rd place, but was able to certainly clear that spot with a big performance here today. By the way, we'll see if his name is called at the MLL draft coming your way Saturday, March 9th from Charlotte, North Carolina. The NASCAR Hall of Fame, the spot for the 2019 MLL Collegiate Draft. Our LSN coverage starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So stay locked in for LSN for that coming up next weekend. So if you're Loyola, You can't rely on the shot clock anymore. You got to force a turnover.
Yep.
How are you doing that without leaving the net open, or do you not mind getting Stover to come out of the cage?
I think at this point, you know, we'll see what Coach Toomey wants to do in terms of, obviously there are a minute and 12 seconds left, so we're not, you know, talking under 30 or anything like that. I still think that they're going to try to pressure, but do it in a smart way when the ball is behind the cage, right? So you get 2 poles on the ball, and Stover can sort of play center field and then retreat to get back into the cage if he needs to. But ideally, the 2 defenders on ball, they're going to try to turn this offensive player back, get him in a trap, and then eventually get the ball on the ground.
Because let's be honest, Towson, for most of this against Loyola, has been causing their own turnovers. Loyola has been sticking back in that zone. Stover's out of the cage. Sunday is now double teamed around midfield. Sunday pulling away, and he's playing keep away from the Hounds.
So now you got a situation for Loyola where they're going to need another defender, pull to come double here. Try to force the issue.
Andrew Beecham beats his man along the end line.
Towson is going to continue to stay wide. If they get in trouble, they're going to ditch it to the corner and try to get a ground ball. Possibly
and
a timeout.
We have another timeout.
Yep.
Good timeout for Towson.
Right, so it's about 35 seconds. They're able to kill off the clock there.
The 7th-ranked Tigers inching closer, 31 seconds away from knocking off number 1. And when you look at the schedule ahead for Towson, this would be a gigantic win, because while they don't have to play this Saturday like Loyola does, they have a gigantic weekend coming up next weekend in Charlotte. They head down to Charlotte, North Carolina, and they'll play Jacksonville on Friday night, and then Cornell, another top 5 team, coming up on Sunday. So 2 tough games in 3 days. Oh, and then they've got a trip to Duke following that, and then they come home and play Denver. So the schedule doesn't get easier for the Tigers.
No, it certainly does not get easier. But, you know, as a coach, you just say, hey, listen, this is what we have to embrace, and this is what it starts with. It's versus Loyola tonight on a Wednesday night. I know it's not ideal and it's tough, but this is what we signed up for, and this is why, you know, we're a Division I team and competing for national championships here, because we want to go out and play the best, you know, wherever and whenever. So I think that mentality you've certainly seen from Towson, and, you know, especially with their recent Final Four appearance, right? They're going out and they're playing everybody and competing and beating other teams, big-time teams.
Let's say this, Towson emerged to the national stage by doing what they did to Hopkins in the opener here at Johnny Unitas Stadium. But on a Wednesday night, there's not one other Division I men's game on tonight. They're playing the number 1 team in the nation. This is an exclamation point of, hey, we're here in 2019 and we're here to stay.
There's no doubt about it, and I think even too, we talked to Coach Nadal on the phone, and, you know, so many questions around Pat Spencer and how do you defend, and said, hey, you know, we have defenders, guys. We have some good players too as well, and they certainly showed that.
Kobe Smith has done a terrific job on Pat Spencer, giving up just a goal and 4 assists, and I say just because 5 points is pretty darn good. Sunday,
See,
is he going to shoot? No, and he does the heads-up thing. He goes toward the corner. Under 20 seconds. McLean's got a trio of players chasing after him, including Spencer. McLean! He's going to put the exclamation point on the upset. Jake McLean puts the Tigers up 2 with under 10 seconds to go.
obviously a really, really well-played game from start to finish by Towson, but what can't get lost in this is the execution there. With 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, whatever it was, they executed that perfectly there, and they killed time off the clock. They kept the ball away from Loyola, didn't take that free goal, which they could have with a couple seconds left, and then really came back with 7. Really well done by Towson.
Woodall wins the face-off, and that will do it. For the first time since 1992 and the third time ever, the Tigers have knocked off the #1 team in the country. It was a big stage here on a Wednesday night, Davey, and at times it wasn't real pretty, but it kind of fits what Towson is all about. they come away with the 12-10 win.
I couldn't agree more. Really, from start to finish, I thought Towson came to play. They were energetic. They played as a unit. And you're right, there were certainly some valleys throughout the game that they had to battle back from, but they did. They stuck together as a team, had a lot of confidence in themselves and in their big-time players who really stepped up and I thought were the difference in this game. But congratulations to Towson. A lot of tough circumstances, cold weather, midweek game, and they came out on top tonight.
And when you look at the face-off effects, people speculated maybe with the shot clock the face-off won't be so important. Well, tonight, once again, Alex Woodall proving that wrong. 20 of 26 at the X, and Towson able to use that in the second half to really dominate possession.
You're absolutely right. Woodall was such a force tonight and really did not have any drop-off from the first face-off to the last. He is a beast at the X there and allows this Towson team to grab momentum and to keep momentum at any part of the game. And I think as a contender, that's such a valuable weapon to have. It allows your offense to get in a flow and ultimately come away, settle in, and come away with more wins.
In 62 meetings between the Tigers and Greyhounds, twice Loyola entered as the #1 team in the country, and twice Towson was able to knock them off. Just kind of what rivalries are all about. So once again, your final score from Johnny Unitas Stadium: Towson 12, Loyola 10. Thank you for watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. For Davey Emla, our producer Dylan Hand, and our entire crew, I'm Travis Eldridge. Our next CAA Game of the Week comes your way Saturday, a doubleheader with Fairfield hosting Rutgers and Hofstra welcoming Georgetown. We'll see you then.